Hi, I'm John Marshall, the Managing Director of Peak Performance Coaching, and I just want to wish you a happy holiday. But enough of that. What I really came to talk to you today about is goal setting. But one of the things that I realized is that I'm not necessarily the greatest speaker. I can't memorize scripts. I can't come and put a pre-recorded program down as eloquently as many people. But what I can do is get to the heart and the meaning of issues. And as the founder and managing director of a coaching company, and also I'm a senior trainer at a coaching institution where I help teach aspiring coaches to get licensed and certified, I realized that there was something that was important to get to, the idea of what is a goal. In coaching, we're all about goals. We're all about helping our clients set goals, put them into action, help remove the obstacles that get in the way so they can achieve success. But it goes much deeper than this. And I know that at the beginning of this year, many of you would have had your New Year's resolutions. You would have set up some things that, I'm going to get healthier, I'm going to get a side business going, I'm going to go for a promotion, so on and so on and so forth. And you're going to do the same thing at the end of this year. But why is it that to the most part, when I listen to people, they say, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. A week later, I'm back to the normal thing. And even if you had great set plans, we had an unprecedented year this year. And actually, it's a telltale sign of the years to come. A thing called COVID-19 walked into our life and shattered many people's dreams, shattered many people's businesses. Yet, despite that, some people still succeeded. Some people actually grew. Some people found hope in a hopeless situation. And since our whole mantra at Peak Performance Coaching is creating certainty in an uncertain world, I thought the least I could do is give you a Christmas gift from my heart to yours about what it takes to succeed, what it is to find that certainty in an uncertain time. And it really comes down to just a couple of things. First and foremost, we use an analogy of a GPS. And you've got to know where you are before you can have any hope at going someplace new. And that is key, even in goal setting, is to absolutely know where you are at any moment in time so you can measure the distance between where you are and where you're going. That's the other thing a GPS needs, isn't it? It always needs to know where you're heading and where you are. And no matter what happens in between, traffic jams, car accidents, weather, road closures, construction, the GPS can constantly recalculate where you're going. And that's part of the goal setting process too. So what are some of the reasons that people fail with their goal setting? They fail for a number of reasons. I can think of 4 off the top of my head, and well, actually just now 5. First and foremost is they think that willpower alone is going to get them there, and it's not. Willpower alone might get you started, but it's not going to keep you going because it runs out, it burns out, it gets tired, and it gets interfered with. Second is a lack of focus. When you don't have clearly articulation about what you're trying to achieve, it's easy to get distracted. Third is accountability. What are you accountable to? What's holding your feet to the fire on this? If it's just you, again, the odds are you're not going to make it. Agility is number 4. The ability to adapt, just like the GPS does. As things change, and they do, because one of our mistakes we make, along with willpower, is thinking that the world's going to stay the same, that it's going to look just like it does today, 6 months from now when we start executing our plan. And the reality is it never has. It may not be as extreme as a COVID-19 with shutdowns and closures, but it is always changing because there's 7 billion people all trying to do their plans out there, which all are different than yours. So the rules in the game are constantly changing, so agility is important to be able to adapt, to recalculate on how you're going to get where you're going from where you currently are. And finally, it's risk. If there's not a little bit of risk attached to this, a little bit of challenge, a little bit of stretching and growing, complacency sets in pretty easy, and we fail again. Now, if you happen to get your goals in 2020 and you can sit down and tell me, yep, check mark, check mark, check mark, nailed them all, congratulations. I honor you. I salute you. I thank you for that. And go and tell everybody you know about it and how you did it. Share the story, because people need to be inspired. Because more often than not, you didn't. Something came between you and there. So one of the simple things that we do, and anybody can do, and again, I didn't invent any of this stuff. I'm just regurgitating things that have been written many, many times, but hopefully bringing them away in a time that you are ready to hear it, is to use SMART goals. And it's a really nice acronym, SMART, S-M-A-R-T, that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And this is all important when setting a goal. But before that, there is something else that's even more important if you want to know that the goals you set are really going to change your life. And this is what you want. We want to go into 2021 and know the things that we lay down in our New Year's resolution are going to make a difference in our lives, our families' lives, and hopefully, as it is our mantra, to help change the world. Because really, what does change the world? The only thing that ever changes the world is a single human being doing an act of greatness in their life. And that could be you this year. If you take the time to look and learn and take a little bit of patience in setting out good goals with the final key ingredient that are attached to your values and your life purpose, your why. When your life purpose and your values are being honored and a goal is in alignment with this, you become unstoppable. Because you will have the passion, you'll have the emotional commitment, you'll have unending willpower to achieve that goal. Because when we honor a value, the body does an incredible thing. It actually releases endorphins. It's very pleasurable when we honor our values. So if a goal is inherently going to bring you pleasure the entire journey, the likelihood of succeeding goes up exponentially. So when you're thinking of the things that you need next year, make sure that those two things come first, that it honors your values and helps you live out your life purpose. Now, if you don't know what those two things are, you need to do the journey of finding out, because it will transform your life by itself. And I encourage you in all this to come to our website at peakperformancecoaching.live. And you'll be able to come down and not only download the manuscript of what I'm sharing with you today, a detailed story of this, and a fabulous workbook on going about setting great goals, SMART goals. And they're free of charge. I'm not looking to sell you anything today. I just want to give you a gift, because the world has been very kind to us in 2020. I'm sitting here in my home being able to share this with you because we've had tremendous success in a year that was supposed to be non-successful by honoring our values and following our why and just moving the what and how to adapt to the new conditions. So let's stay focused. Let's talk about that SMART goal. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So what are you going, what are you talking about? Well, goals, if they aren't specific, are dreams. Dreams are broad-brushed ideas. Wouldn't it be nice? I'd love to be a millionaire. Well, that's a pretty broad, non-specific goal. How do you want to become a millionaire? When do you want to become a millionaire by? What are you going to do to get there? What are you willing to sacrifice? What's it going to take to get there? These are all pieces of the equation that have to be part of a good goal. So being specific means that a goal is very tangible, it's very well articulated, and it can be defined. The first key thing. The second thing then is it's got to be measurable. How do you know when you've obtained this goal? How do you know when you've had success? What does that success look like? I want to lose weight. Well, how much weight? When do you want to lose that weight by? How are you going to go about losing that weight? How do you know what success looks like? That's the measurability of it. Without measurability, again, it is nothing more than a dream or a desire that you can't put absolute plans in place to obtain because you don't know where you're going. If you just tell a GPS, take me to the shopping mall, which mall are you going to go to? You may have wanted to go to a high-end mall. It's going to take you to a low-end or the other way around. It doesn't know. It's too broad. You've got to get very specific. It has to be attainable. So that's the realism of it. Is it real? I want to be the king of a country. Is that really realistic if currently you're living on the street? Not a great first goal. Doesn't mean it can't be there, but there's going to be many, many, many goals that need to come up first before that's an attainable proposition. I'd like to become a doctor. Fantastic. Where are you today? Where's the awareness of your current location? And that journey will get set by, hey, I'm in kindergarten. Well, we got to get you to high school first. So let's focus on the goals that are going to help you best do that journey that will set you up for becoming a doctor. And we bring those goals back down. They have to be attainable. And that's key. A great goal, also in attainability, can't be reliant on the outside world to cooperate with you. If it requires the outside world to do something, it's still a wish. It's not a goal any longer because you can't control those variables. So part of attainability is the independence of a changing outside world. Then it has to be relevant. What do you mean relevant? It's got to be important to you. It's got to be meaningful. And this is where the values and your why come into place. When a goal is relevant, it means it's going to support your values. It's going to honor your values. It's going to get you excited. It's going to have a reason to exist because it's part of who you are. When it is relevant, it's going to help you live out your why. And I'm not talking a why as in lower my finances or qualify for a mortgage or get good grades. Those are whys, but they're not the why. So when the why is involved in it, the secondary whys become easier and more understanding. If your why is to reduce your debt, it's because you have a belief of independence that the debt's taking away. And it will help honor that. And you'll get more energy to want to stay committed. If it's just a nice to have or it's a society-laden desire, it won't. Let's take something really fanciful. I would like to have a Maserati. Success is me having a Maserati, and that's my goal this year. Well, the reality is, if that's true, because it is an image of something, the guy that comes along with the next hotter car that's bigger, badder, and faster, I'm not going to be happy with my Maserati anymore. But if the reason I'd like the Maserati is because I have a value of craftsmanship, and it represents the pinnacle of craftsmanship, I'll be completely happy. And even if someone comes along with something that is perceived to be a sexy, badder, or more powerful car, I will not be disappointed. So the work I'll put into to attain that will be easier and more enjoyable because it's the journey, not the end, because my values are being honored. If what I'm looking to do is a career decision, my why comes into play. And if it's going to help me be the person I was created to be, again, I will go through anything for that to happen. So relevance is so important. Big goals need big relevance, little goals need small relevance, but nonetheless, it needs to be present if you want to know that you are going to be able to see it through to the end and put the resources and time necessary behind that goal to be successful. And lastly, they've got to be time-bound. When a goal is time-bound, it brings the last part of measurability and substance to it. I just want to be a millionaire. By when? I don't know. Just that's something I want. Well, you're not going to put effort into it because it's some point in the distant future. When it is time-bound, I need to achieve it by this time. Suddenly, everything you're doing, everything you look for, all the steps and resources to get there come into focus, don't they? If I want to buy a new home by the end of March in 2021, I can find out where I am today to know financially what that could look like. And then I can look at all the activity that needs to take place. Well, geez, you know, I've had a pretty rough 2020. My credit rating took a beating. So before I can go look at a new home that is in the category and price range I'm looking for, being specific, it's not just a home, it's a specific home, I can now start putting the pieces in place and start doing it. I'll give you a different example because this is a real one in my life. I'd like to go to Europe for my 26th wedding anniversary, October 12th, 2021. And specifically within Europe, where we'd really like to go is to Germany, and it's more even specific than that, to Nuremberg, Germany, where my wife's from, to visit her family. I've already taken a bit of a look at this and investigated what the cost of airline tickets will be, what the cost of lodging will be, travel once we're there, food and the things. And we've realized that we'll need to save 5,000 euros in order to have the vacation we want. We had to understand, how long are we going for? We want to be there for 12 days. So I've been able to say and set that aside. Now I can start asking more questions. I can say, first of all, do I have the 5,000 euros? B, can we afford to take 12 days off of work to be there for the period of time? Are we going to be able to even travel by then? Those are things that have to come into the equation. But that makes it specific and measurable. It's attainable because I can answer, yes, I can come up with the $5,000 to do it. And yes, I can take the time off work to do it. And yes, my wife can. I can answer the next question that came up for us. Are we going to be able to stay with family when we're there to maintain that budget that we're looking for? And they've come back and said yes. So now I can come back and say, now if I would like to have that money not come out of our current savings, I'll need to save about $480, let's call it $500 a month for the next 11 months to be ready to do that trip. More concreteness in the goal, more relevant. Is this trip relevant to me? It is. We haven't been home in a long time. We haven't seen her family. Her parents are getting to that point where it might be the last visit. So it fits in our values of honoring family, honoring a relationship, being in community, all values both my wife and I hold. Important. So we will be excited and have a lot of energy to want to achieve this. And it's time bound because we know when we need to get there. Now, I have to come back and say we still have to be agile with this, because the world of Corona means maybe the doors are open, maybe they aren't open. So we need to be able to be flexible in moving with this based on the conditions the world presents to us. But we still will achieve it in a way. How we think we'll get there may change. The when may even have to change based on lockdowns, flight availability, travel restrictions, so on and so forth. But honoring the essence of the goal, we'll be able to achieve, and we'll continue to put the energy in regardless of what the outside world does as we stay focused. There's an example of a real live goal. And if you do this with your New Year's resolutions, with each and every one of them, and break them down into their smaller pieces, the odds are, if we sit here a year from now, recording our next year's holiday message, you'll be one of the ones that said, yes, I did achieve everything on my list. Yes, I was able to accomplish it. And I'll be asking you to go out and share with your friends on how you did it and teach them to do it too. So a gift from us at Peak Performance Coaching to you. Please go to our website, www.peakperformancecoaching.live, and download the workbook. Download this manuscript. Share it with as many people as you can so they can have more certainty in their life in this crazy, uncertain time. Happy holidays, everyone, and Merry Christmas.